here for 2 book review, and I'm going to be doing this for just randomly for books I want to talk about, and I want to do 2 reviews and hopefully within 15 minutes, so try to keep the videos kind of short. So each book about 7.5 minutes. This is the first one, so I'll probably run over a bit. So let's go ahead and get started. So again, because we are in the month of February and we are, me and my friends are hosting the Black Author Readathon, and we have a bingo board. The first 2 books I want to review are by female Black authors, and the first one is by Twyla Turner, and the book is called The Red Scott. And this book is quite interesting because it kind of had everything in it for me. It hit a whole lot of cool things, and then it also hit some things I don't like too. But we'll get into it. So first and foremost, this book was published in 2017. It's just shy of 300 pages. I read it on Kindle Unlimited. It did not have an audio book to go with it because if it did, I would have bought both, but it didn't. So I would have bought both, but I just read it on my Kindle Unlimited subscription. More about this book is it deals with, I don't like to tell people, I don't like to give, what are they called? Trigger warnings. I don't know why they kind of upset me. I like to tell people just the content that's in the book. This book does contain sexual assault. It also contains hope, love, and there's an interracial relationship in it. I read this book to meet the bingo prompt for the Black Author Readathon for sport because, of course, one of the main characters is an athlete. So let's get into it. So we have Peyton, who is an African-American female graphic designer. And then you have Braden, who is a MMA fighter. He is Scottish. And they have the cutest meeting of all. Like, their characters in this book are just so sweet. So Peyton has a very tragic or traumatic, I should say, event that happens to her in college where she meets the core of her friend group, which are just 3 other girls who are, they were girls. So yeah, 3 other girls who are all women of color. I think one or more of them are mixed, and I think one of them is mixed, one of them is Latin, is a Latina, and then I think the Braden and her and another young lady are just African American. I say just African American like it's not enough. It's more than enough. Anyway, so you meet you meet Peyton, and she's had this traumatic experience, and it's kind of affected the way she sees not just men but sex and the type of man that she wants to be involved with, all these things. And she has all that, and then that you meet her when that happens to her, and she meets her friend groups, and then it fast forwards to like 10 or 12 years later, and they're fully adults and they're in their career paths, working and thriving, but none of the girls are really in any heavy or any committed relationships. So they commit to each other, like, we're going to be a little more open, we're going to try to be involved and or be open and involved and try to like meet men and be open to relationships. So Peyton's is a plus size woman. She's not, I love it. I love saying this because it's true. I don't think she's heavy because there's plus size women who are so socially acceptable. I think she's in that range of socially acceptable, but of course, anytime you're chubby at all, people are still going to talk about you, right? So she decides to go to this gym because she's a very pragmatic? I'm saying the word wrong. She's a very logical person. So she knows that she keeps hearing people talking about, or men talking about, how they look at women's bodies and how that's what they're attracted to. And so she decides, well, I am clearly not that. This is why I'm single. I'm single because of 1, the traumatic thing, but 2, also because I don't have a desirable body. So I need to go to this gym to go get this desirable body. Well, she walks into the gym and there's this big 6'4" MMA fighter, Scottish MMA fighter, who sees her and loves everything about her when he first meets her. So he's head over heels, just instant attraction. I don't know, it's not love, it's instant attraction to Peyton, and that's Brayden. And Brayden is just like so excited that she's come to his gym, and he becomes a tad bit like very cute, obsessive, like not like, creepy, like not like stalking her to her car, but like kind of, glancing every time he walks by her, and it's so cute. But Peyton is petrified of him. Well, you get past that point where they finally become friends, and they finally get to a point where they want to start trying to date, and he finally realizes that she's trying to lose weight to be attractive, and he's like, look, you're welcome to lose weight. You need to do what you feel is necessary for yourself and your health, but not everybody likes the same thing. Not everybody wants, their girlfriend or their significant other to look a certain way. So please don't try to convince yourself that that's what you need to do to be attractive to any and every man. And it's just very good because she still does lose weight to some degree for herself. And then they just kind of have this really cool relationship. But that trauma that happened from her young adulthood rears itself back up. And so they have to fight through that. And it's such a great story. I really enjoy it. There were some things I didn't like. I don't like, it was very heavy into body shaming. And not like in a negative way. Like they talked about body shaming. Like I personally feel like they talk about body shaming like most people did. But I didn't like the fact that it was so heavy. It was very heavy in that. I feel like for a book, it probably needed to be that heavy. I just didn't enjoy it being that heavy. I also enjoyed the pacing of the book. I felt like the relationship moved very nicely. The trauma, the climax of the story, the sexy time was delicious. Okay, and I read books. When I read my romance, I need my sexy time, and the sexy time in this book was on par. Thank you, Twyla Turner. So I think I think this book is great. I think I gave it 3.5 stars. It's an average 0.5, it's an average read. It wasn't like, oh my God, everyone should go out and read this. I mean, I actually feel like everyone should, but I'm not going to tell you that you're going to be expecting anything, spectacular. Are you going to enjoy the story? I believe so. I believe that it's a very cute story. It's a Red Scott by Twyla Turner. If you are into interracial relationships, plus size girl romance, this is your story. So I'll be right back with another review on another romance book. So the next book I would like to review is called Bolt, and it is the second book in Betty Banks, who is also an African American author. It's in her Alphabet trilogy. This is the second book. It's called Bolt, and this book is technically a novella. I read it on Kindle Unlimited. It's technically about 150 pages, but because it's ebook format, they kind of round up, so it may technically be a little less than that. So let's talk about the book. It was released in 2020, if I didn't say that. The book was about two assassins, and I read this because I wanted to fill the prompt for enemies to lovers. And these two assassins are dueling assassins, and the first one is Bolt, and Bolt is a very clean assassin. He just gets in there, he does it, he doesn't need more than one shot, he gets what he needs to get done, and then he's out. And then there is Swan. Swan is she's more dramatic in her killings. Like, she does it where people are like it makes the news. Like, it doesn't make the news like, oh, she killed a whole bunch of people. It's like she poisons a man, or she runs the man off the road, or something like that. She does it in the fashion where it's going to make the news like as a tragic accident or someone passing that's important, normally in a natural way, but she's really good at making sure that it's never traced back to her. But the problem is Swan is taking Bolt's business. So he's trying to figure out who the world is taking his business. He finds out it's Swan, and his first cause of action is, of course, to kill his enemy. So I don't want to give too much away. I don't think this is going to give anything away. Of course, he thinks he goes to kill her. He thinks he's killed her. She's not dead. And then she's like, hold up, you trying to kill a bitch? And so she's like, all right, okay, I got you. I'm coming for you now. And then they kind of do this like dance where neither one of them really want to kill each other because they're actually attracted to each other. And so I did not fully enjoy this book. I did not fully enjoy this book for a couple of reasons. The main reason is the pacing of the book felt really weird. I felt like for this kind of topic, I would have enjoyed for it to have a few more pages, 100 more pages at least, of like just developing more of the backstory for Bolt, more of the backstory for Swan. I mean, they give you backstories for both of the characters, but it just feels very rushed and like an afterthought, which is weird because I felt like Betty Banks' book, the first one I read, was very developed. It felt very clean and clear and pristine, and it was clear on, everything. This one felt rushed, and it felt like a very big afterthought. Like a lot of the things felt like an afterthought. So I didn't really enjoy it, but I don't want to give away too much of the book either. But I will give you some things like, of course, they're trying to kill each other, but they're also trying to continue to work with these people who are giving them assignments. And then eventually there's a point where the people who are giving them assignments like, hold on, you two are fighting? What? So that's a problem. That becomes a problem for everybody. It becomes a problem for them, the people who are hiring them, and then the people, of course, who are getting killed by them. The one thing I really didn't like about this was the people who they were killing, and this is really silly and superficial, seemed to be like people who were a part of a crime syndicate or a part of the crime world. And then there was this one thing that happened. I was like, that's very random, and also it makes me feel like okay, so one spoiler. Swan kills this one guy who is a random. He's a rando. He's this throwaway character that you never think about until he's in, you're reading about him in those couple sentences. So he's technically innocent. And she just kills this innocent man for no reason to get Bolt's attention. And I felt like that was really random, and it felt like it felt unnecessary. And so I was very bothered by the fact that she just killed someone randomly. I just felt really weird. I was just very upset that she just killed someone randomly that had nothing to do with their fight or their squabble. He just worked in the same building as Bolt. I didn't like the fact of the way Bolt treated his assistants. I guess I really didn't enjoy this book as much as I thought I was. I enjoyed the first book in the series very much. The first book was called Atlas. I really enjoyed that book. I really enjoyed like the care and the story development in that book. The next book that is in the series is called Cash. I actually have read that and finished that. I got some thoughts on that one too. I feel like it was more enjoyable than this one, but it wasn't as good as the first one. I don't know what happened between that first one and these two, but I'm still going to read more about Betty Banks. I find her writing intriguing. I like the way she writes the female character. Anyway, I really enjoyed her first book. This book, not so much. And Cash, not as much as the first book, but more than this one. So yeah, that's my 2-book review. Again, The Red Scott and Bolt. I would suggest for you to read both of them. I did rate Bolt 2.5 stars. I tend to be a bit of a hard rater, but I just am. But anyway, I think that both books are worth a read. Both are on Kindle Unlimited if you have it. If you don't have it, I'm gonna be honest with you. There's enough on there for everyone. That's fiction, nonfiction, romance, everything in between. I've read mysteries on there. I think even like the Hunger Games are on there now too. I don't believe Harry Potter is, but Hunger Games, I think you can find anything you want on Kindle Unlimited, and it's only $13.99 or something like that. I don't remember. But thank you for watching, and until next time, you know what your girl's going to say. Bye.